Put your head on my shoulder.
Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. For you guys who are new here, make sure to like and subscribe and turn on post notifications so you guys can be alerted for future videos. So in today's video, it's actually a collaboration video with my friend Alex. I'm going to leave her video link in my description so you guys can go check her out. She's going to be doing like a second part to this video. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about a play me and Alex have both been in and the experience we had, the good stuff and the bad stuff that happened, and yeah.
Hello, Layan's channel. I'm Alex. As she said, we were in a school musical together, which just happened to be Shrek. That was quite an adventure and an experience. I'll start off by talking about the audition process because Layan didn't go through it and she'll tell you what she did to get into it in a second. When it was first happening, they put out auditions and I'm a drama kid and a music kid, so I'm just like, oh my god,
Yes.
I'll do it. I went in. They didn't tell me to do anything, our teachers. They just kind of said, show up and then we'll give you a monologue and a song to sing and we'll decide based on that what role you're gonna get. So I walk in, my drama teacher hands me a monologue, just read a few lines basically, didn't do anything over the top, wasn't memorizing anything or anything like that. And then sang to a karaoke of I'm a Believer from Shrek. It was really, really easy and really simple, I think, because our school in particular isn't very arts-based or performing arts-based, so a lot of it was just our teachers kind of pushing for it and trying to get people in, which as we go on with the process, you'll hear was an issue to get people to join and to stay because, yeah, everyone kind of thought, why do it? You know? Okay, so do you want to say how you joined now?
So my audition process was actually different from Alex because I joined in the second year and I joined kind of late compared to most people. So what happened was my friends were just telling me you should be in it, but the thing was I didn't want to. It's not because I didn't want to, it's just because I couldn't sing and I was like expecting the whole thing just to be about singing. But then when I went to talk to the teachers, they put me in this role with two other pigs and I just went and then that's it. I was like, can I be in a play? They're like, now? They're like, we could use an extra body. So they're like, okay, you can go with the extra pigs and be part of them to make them actually a 3 because they're meant to be 3. And that's how I got in. And then I just came to every rehearsal after that.
Yeah, so I didn't say what part I got. I got the gingerbread man. And because there still wasn't enough people by the second year of the production, I also doubled as Shrek's mom. So yeah, I don't know about you, but throughout, like, even when you joined in the second year, people kept dropping out. I don't know if you noticed or it was just a problem, I think. Moving on to the rehearsal process. In the first year when I joined from the very beginning, it was 2 times a week. It was the same as the second year, Sundays and Wednesdays or Tuesdays?
Wasn't it Mondays and Wednesdays?
Wednesdays? Mondays and Wednesdays. It was Mondays and Wednesdays, you're right. And then it was 2 hours after school, twice a week, with one of them being for learning songs, and then the second one being for blocking scenes. And then on the second year...
So for the second year, it was Sundays, it was Mondays, right? Or was it Sundays and Wednesdays, or Mondays and Wednesdays?
I think I'll go with Mondays, you probably remember more than I do. It all just blurred together by the end of it.
Yeah.
It might have actually been Mondays.
So the rehearsal process was almost similar to the first year. It was every Monday and Wednesday from 3 till 5, so it was 2 hours. So in total it was like 4 hours a week of just rehearsal. So the one thing that I hated the most about rehearsals was that there was a lot of waiting because the whole play was revolved around Fiona, Shrek and Donkey. So all the other not as big parts just had to sit back and watch and wait. And we had to be quiet most of the times when they were performing because they were performing. So that was like the only boring thing, just waiting for them to finish. Sometimes you wouldn't even go on stage. There were like times and days where you would just wait for the 2 hours and never actually perform in those 2 hours. Just like watch them. So yeah.
Yeah, that was exhausting, I think.
Yeah.
Because you'd go and then it would just be like 1 week or 2 weeks of not going through your scene, and me and you would just have to like sit and wait and watch the same 3 people go on stage and do the same 3, 4, 5 scenes, and just like, oh, it was so boring. In the beginning, I think it was so boring. But then we had a breakthrough. We had like 20 little kids join. Yeah.
20 little children.
30 little kids join. And when I mean little, I mean like year 5 and 6. So they're like 10, 11.
I think they were like
maybe
9, 10. If they're like year 5, it was like 9, 10-year-olds.
Okay, so even younger. So like 9, 10. I think a few were 11. But yeah, so they had to join because our director had a vision. He had a vision that this would be a whole school production, and all the kids from like senior school to junior school, everyone would be in it, and it would be so great and amazing. Bearing in mind, these kids joined 2 months before the show.
Yeah, it was really annoying watching them.
Yeah, and they knew nothing, and they were basically background characters. But they had to learn songs, and they had to learn harmonies in songs, and then they also had to learn dances. My God. When the little kids joined, there were two teachers who were like doing this thing. It was my drama teacher who was blocking, and then our music teacher who was directing. When the little kids joined, they sort of didn't have anyone to teach them what was going on, including the songs and the dances. The dances weren't even created, basically. They were just kind of simple, like, moves, but there wasn't really anything to show them. So my music teacher decided to put me in charge, or I volunteered. I think it was kind of like a mutual thing. I was like, I'll help, and then he's like, okay, you're in charge, which turned out to be very stressful, because when you go and you try to teach a bunch of 10-year-olds a dance and you tell them to kind of, improvise, just kind of like move around, they all start doing the floss or Fortnite dances. Last time I checked, Shrek does not have Fortnite. Okay, so that was a lot. And it's a lot of talking back. They think because, story time, small one. They thought because I was short and small, I'm very small, that they could kind of walk all over me. So a lot of them talked back and didn't take me seriously. So I had one of my friends, Edward, who's very, very tall, just kind of sit in on the rehearsals with me and the little kids and tell them to shush, because he's a lot taller and scarier. Okay, end of story time.
So I didn't get a lead. Me and Alex both didn't get a lead character. I mean, I understand why I didn't, because I joined really late, like a year later, like a year and something later. So I knew why I didn't get a lead. So Alex, why didn't you get a lead?
Moving very swiftly onto a topic called favoritism. And yeah, and slight favoritism. That was, I feel like I experienced. I think you've experienced some of it too.
Yeah, I kind of experienced some as well with like the 2 other people that were pigs. I don't know, it's not like, it wasn't like really obvious, like, oh, it was real, like it was such big favoritism and stuff. It was like slight favoritism, because you could tell like the teacher who was directing us and everything had like, me and him, that teacher, we had conflict a lot. Like year 8, year 9, we didn't like each other that much. So obviously 2 students that were like in his music class were obviously, there was slight favoritism. He liked them more. he would talk to them more. He would obviously criticize me compared to them. Like he'd be like, oh, I like your voices. You know, not really. But he wouldn't say it that way, obviously. What kind of favoritism were you experiencing?
I think, so this is gonna sound maybe a little bit pretentious and like I'm full of myself. I'm not. I know I'm not amazing. I know I'm not like wow or anything. I'm still in school. I'm still studying and I want to do this for the rest of my life. I'm going to go and continue to study and learn and etc. etc. But I will say this. I was the only student who took both drama and music for A level. In both year 12 and year 13, I was the only kid doing both drama and music. Both the teachers that were involved in this musical were my teachers who were teaching my classes where it was 2 people in a class or 4 people in a class. So they knew me really well. It was kind of almost like one-on-one sometime. If someone was absent, I would sometimes have one-on-one lessons with these teachers. So for them to then turn around and kind of give me a part where I would be originally in only 2 scenes, kind of felt like a kick, like a stab in the back almost, especially since I knew that the people that got leads didn't take, apart from one of them, didn't take drama or music as subjects. You know what was weird though? There was a lot of people around me that took it way worse than I did. So when I found out that I didn't get the part that I wanted, my friends were quite angry. And for weeks afterwards, they'd kind of be a little bit like shady towards the teachers, I guess. And my mom was really, really angry and she was upset more. Like behind closed doors, she was upset and she's like, Alex, you've worked really hard and I've directed. I think my point is though, like I've had a lot of people for like months after the roles were given were still really upset for me. I had kind of just like, okay, the first week I was like really, really pissy. But then afterwards I'm like, you know what? I'm not always gonna get the lead. If I'm gonna go into this industry, and if you're someone that's watching this who's thinking of auditioning and doing musicals or plays, or wants to go into acting in the future or stuff like that, you need to realize that you will not always get the lead. You are not always what people are looking for. There is going to be favoritism, and there's always going to be someone better than you. Like, that's the bottom line. There's always going to be someone better than you. So I got the gingerbread man, and I said, you know what? I'm going to go out there, and I'm going to be the best goddamn gingerbread man that I can be. Because I'm going to take those 2 scenes, those 2 5-minute scenes that I'm on stage, I'm going to go and I'm going to make every single person laugh. Because that's my part, I got it, and I'm going to own it. And if you're someone who's thinking of dropping out because of a small part, don't. The overall experience is still amazing. You still get to experience so many things and make so many friends. Like me and Leanne became very good friends over the play. And then, foreshadowing, we're in another play together later on. So you make lifelong friends and it's a good experience. That's my message.
So now me and Alex are going to be talking about the good stuff and the bad stuff that we got out of this play. So the first good thing for me was that I made a lot of friends, especially with like the older kids and even younger kids that were not in my year. So it was a really great experience, and it was something that, because like after this whole play and everything, we still got to talk to people. I still connected with them. It was like a mini family. Even in break times, some of us would like catch up and just talk, even sometimes sing songs. So that was a really fun thing, making friends. And another good thing for me was it was a good experience, because before I joined this musical, I was doing mainly smaller plays, like class plays or like these after school pantomimes with like 15 people, maybe less, sometimes like 20. But that's it. It was like a really small thing. And then from that big jump to like a musical, a whole school production with a bunch of people was different. The audition process was different. And it was just a really great experience that helped me learn more about the thing I love to do, which is acting.
So I'll carry on from that. So I made a lot of younger friends. Me and Leanne aren't in the same year, for those who don't know. um, so I made a lot of younger friends. I think this musical and musicals in general, or like whole school productions, really do bring the school together, because up until like even this year, I had like so many little ones from junior school come up to me and be like, "Hey, how are you?" Like, they're tiny, but it's still nice to know that there are people younger who kind of both look up to you and also just enjoy your company, if that makes sense. For those of you who like performing, who are watching this, school productions are really just a good way to get yourself out there, if not to like go for auditions or anything like that, just for fun, for yourself, to make new friends and all of that. It's also for people who, for example, for Leanne, it was probably stepping out of your comfort zone. One, because you said it's a big jump from small plays within school to a really, really big school musical, and because you don't really sing. And to suddenly be thrown into a musical where you're supposed to sing and you're supposed to dance and all that, that's a big step. So good for you. You did really well.
Thank you.
So it's a lot of it's a lot of stepping out of the one more time. It's a lot of stepping out of your comfort zone. I think me and you can both say also that because of one of our teachers, our director, who shouted at us a lot, who criticized and gave us pointers a lot, we learned how to deal with pressure. I learned how to deal with pressure. So I think that's a good thing that we encountered.
There was a couple of bad things that happened throughout this play, so one of them was, I mentioned this before, but there was a lot of waiting and just sitting around, and sometimes you wouldn't even be able to go on stage or perform during that 2-hour session every Mondays and Wednesdays. So that was just really frustrating. Wait, wasn't it like Sundays and Tuesdays? It wasn't Mondays and Wednesdays Clue?
Okay.
Anyway, it was twice a week. Carry on.
I mean, I could have stayed at home and studied or something. I mean, I probably wouldn't have, but I could have. And I mean, I would have, but I wouldn't. Okay. So there was slight frustration, we got shouted at a lot. Yeah. Okay. So the teachers, they wanted to get things done. So their idea of getting things done was shouting. We're talking about one specific teacher over here. And so it was really frustrating, and there was like a lot of pressure. But I mean, it helped us deal with this pressure, helped us learn how to handle this frustration and depression. I mean, pressure. We had to deal with a lot of children. Well, mainly Alex, but I just had to deal with there was this one kid who cried a lot, but we had to deal with their like attitude and their like sadness, or just generally children. Oh no, I think Alex froze again. No! She froze again.
Oh no! She disconnected from my call. So I'll quickly talk about the good that I remembered that I forgot. Now I remembered. So another good thing about school musicals, or like school productions, and our musical was, if you didn't sing or if you didn't want to act or be on stage, there's a lot of stuff that you could do behind the scenes. You could help with props, you could help set up the stage on the day, as well as lights and sound.
I'm back.
She's back.
I'm back.
Okay, I was just saying that one of the thing that I forgot to say that was good was even if you didn't want to be on stage, there was lots of ways you could help, whether it was helping with props or setting up the stage, but I think one of the biggest ones was with lights and sound, because we had one of my music teachers on the soundboard. I say mine, there was like our school's music teachers on the soundboard, and then one on the lighting board, and they obviously needed help. One to test mics to make sure everyone has a mic, and then also to like operate the lights and switch the projector on and like switch the screens and all of that. So if you're thinking about joining a musical, or if you want to join a school thing and you don't really want to be on stage in front of people, there's other stuff that you can do. You can be backstage, you can be helping people move props. I know some plays people need to move stuff on and off stage during the performance and stuff like that. There's lots of stuff you could do, and it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun, and it's a good way to step out of your comfort zone and meet new people. All you introverts, do it.
Join.
You won't regret it. I had to deal with children. That's not fun. That's a lot. Dealing with the children was one of my bad. Like some of them, the little girls were great. The little boys were a little bit more difficult to handle, but it's okay.
Yeah, I was lucky enough to just sit back and watch Alex take care of them, so that was great.
You know, it is what it is.
It is what it is. It is what it is.
Oh yeah, one thing that was good for like others was I used to bring food. I used to bring the best food ever, and I'd go to Ya Salam, which is a restaurant, and I'd just bring some food and we'd all eat. That was a good thing.
Yes. Oh my god, yes, I remember. You'd always, and I remember I think once or twice I'd just be like, oh my god, can I have a fry? Like, leeching off you. Everyone leeched off Layan because she always brought food, and people would either forget or they'd like be too scared to kind of like leave and come back.
I had a whole ass buffet in my lunchbox, man. And then I'd even go, like, as an extra thing, I'd go buy some more food.
So yeah, I remember that now. That was funny.
So guys, this was part 1 to the video, and the second part, which is gonna be the 7 days, like the last 7 days before show day, or wait, it was 5, whatever. Okay, same thing. The 7 days.
Show day.
Yeah. Okay, the show day and like the 5 days that we had practicing during show day. That's all gonna be on Alex's channel, so go check out her channel. Her link is gonna be in my bio. And yeah, thank you all for watching. Bye.
Bye.
She's a Mona Lisa. Everyone's lining up to see her. She's a Mona Lisa.